Time for news on the hour.
It's midday. Good afternoon. You're listening to Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Welcome to the news at noon. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, is aggressively pursuing and reinforcing its cashless policy in order to collect all fees associated with the 2023 registration process. Professor Ishak Uluide, JAMB registrar, stated this in the board's weekly bulletin to dispel rumors that the examination body may abandon its cashless registration policy implemented in the 2022 UTME. JAMB stated that it will collect the service charge in addition to the 3,500 naira UTME application fee and remit it to the computer-based testing centers, as candidates will no longer be allowed to make payments at the registration point. It was noted that the rumors being spread were the creations of fraudulent operators hell-bent on defrauding innocent candidates, reiterating the board's resolve to pursue its cashless registration regime and consolidate the success recorded so far, while declaring that any center that collects any money from candidates during the registration exercise will be treated as a fraudulent center. JAMB submitted that the ownership of such centers will be prosecuted. The ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives on the assessment and status of all recovered loot, movable and immovable assets from 2022 to 2020 by agencies of the federal government of Nigeria for effective, efficient management and utilization has urged the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to prevent looters from recovering their loot in the ongoing auction of seized and forfeited assets. The committee's chairman, Adejoro Adeogun, who said the panel had earlier recommended speedy disposal of the recovered loot, especially fixed assets, expressed the possibility of looters recovering their forfeited assets by proxy. Adeogun, however, stated that the committee will continue with its investigation despite the sales. The EFCC had on December 6, 2022, commenced the inspection and auction of 649 forfeited vehicles located across 9 states and the Federal Capital Territory through appointed auctioneers. The newly appointed Co-Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Dauda Biu, has assured Nigerians of adequate logistics during the 2023 general elections. Biu gave the assurance during his declaration by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Tuesday in Abuja. He replaces Boboye Oyeyemi, who retired on the 24th of July 2022. The new Co-Marshal's appointment was ratified by President Muhammadu Buhari on the 30th of December 2022. Co-Marshal said the FRSC has always supported the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, during elections. He assured that the year 2023 elections will not be an exception, as the Corps is prepared to ensure free and fair elections nationwide. Biu said a fleet of vehicles will be deployed to assist INEC to move equipment and ballot papers. On the foreign scene, the Chinese government harshly criticized COVID-19 testing requirements imposed on Chinese visitors and threatened countermeasures against countries involved, including the United States and several European countries. Mao Ning, a spokesperson for the Foreign Ministry, stated during a daily briefing Tuesday that China will take countermeasures based on the principle of reciprocity if attempts are made to manipulate the COVID measures for political purposes. The remarks were China's most vehement on the subject to date. Australia and Canada joined a growing list of countries, including the US, India, Japan, South Korea, and several European nations that have announced tougher COVID-19 measures on travelers from China amid concerns over lack of data on infections in China and fears that new variants may emerge. The United States said the requirement of COVID tests for travelers from China is based on science and due to Beijing's lack of transparency on surging cases. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan has lifted a ban on opposition rallies imposed in 2016 by her strongman predecessor, John Magufuli, in an overture to political rivals seeking the restoration of democratic traditions. She's speaking to leaders of Tanzania's 19 registered political parties during a meeting at her office in the capital, Dar es Salaam. The ban was prescribed by former President John Magufuli in 2016 during his first term. Initially meant to apply to all political parties, critics say it targeted only the opposition. In 2018, the Magufuli-led government passed a law forcing bloggers, social media influencers, and online platforms to apply for a license and pay a one-time fee for $930 to keep their sites up. The French Foreign Ministry says it received a letter from the Burkinabe authorities in December requesting the departure of France's ambassador from Burkina Faso. The French ministry spokeswoman confirmed Tuesday by email that it had received such a letter but declined to give further details on how it had responded. The Burkinabe government has declined to comment officially on reports that it has requested Paris. It had sent a request to Paris on the matter last month. United Kingdom rail staff disrupted the New Year return to work Tuesday in the latest strike action by workers in a range of sectors over the worst cost of living crisis in a generation. Workers across the economy are at loggerheads with the government as they demand big pay rises to cope with decades-high inflation, currently running at nearly 11%. Normally bustling London train stations were quiet Tuesday, the first normal working day of 2023 after the New Year break. Network Rail, which operates the UK's rail infrastructure, warned travellers of a significantly reduced train services or no services at all in some areas until Sunday. 5 days of strike action beginning Tuesday include two 48-hour strikes by approximately 40,000 RMT union members. Meanwhile, 5 years after it was closed due to mysterious sonic attacks on diplomatic staff, the U.S. consulate in Havana resumes full immigrant visa services for Cubans Wednesday. The reopening comes amid a record exodus from the communist island to the United States, mainly by undocumented migrants, as Cuba suffers the worst economic crisis in 30 years. The consulate will open fully for immigrant visa processing, though tourist visas remain off limits for now. The consulate was closed under the Donald Trump administration after diplomatic staff and their families fell ill with symptoms later nicknamed Havana syndrome. And that's the Citizen FM News at noon, as compiled and edited by Lawrence Mwete. You can listen to us online via www.citizenfm.ng. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram,